What's up, your boy Dem on Domuto. We're back with another video. Today we're watching Patrick CC. Today we're watching when comedians cause chaos at award shows. Okay. Of course, I'm pretty sure you'll bring up the Chris Rock moment. And, a lot of comedians at award shows be talking that mess. I ain't gonna cap, so we're gonna get into it.
Comedians notoriously hate award shows, and celebrities hate when comedians host them, because the comedians can't resist the opportunity to get on stage and belittle celebrities during their night of highest honor. But the fans love these spectacles because we get to sit back and watch the chaos.
Relax, I'm going to try and be nice. You're global megastars with amazing talent, most of you. A few of you just married well. You know who you are. We all do. We all do.
Today we are going to take a look at some of the funniest, most savage, and painfully awkward moments that have come from comedians at award shows, starting with Jerry Seinfeld, who exposed these ceremonies for what they truly are. Comedy legend Jerry Seinfeld bluntly explained his hatred for award shows while he accepted the Comedian Award presented by HBO in 2007.
You don't give awards to comedians. First of all, comedians don't need awards. Awards are for people that are looking for work. We're not looking for work.
Jerry opens with an interesting point. Comedians will not sell more tickets to their stand-up performances based on some pretentious award because being funny is subjective. However, in cinema, receiving an accolade will make producers and directors more interested in hiring an award-winning actor in future films for obvious creative and marketing reasons.
I don't know why we're so fascinated with actors in this culture. They haven't got a thought in their stupid bedhead hairdo mini brains. Why? We must honor this man. Why? He pretended to be Bob Johnson. Playing dress up and pretend is not genius, ladies and gentlemen. It's not genius. Roll the cameras, put on these clothes, stand there ready, say what we told you to say.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic.
Damn.
He did it.
That could hurt some
man
people
a huge golden trophy. He's a goddamn genius.
As an actor himself, I'm sure Jerry is just joking here. However, comedians are often writers, directors, producers, and performers of their own material. Ironically, it kind of makes them more deserving of these esteemed awards.
And secondly, and even more important, is your whole career as a comedian is about making fun of pretentious, high-minded, self-congratulatory BS events like this one. The whole feeling in this room of
I see why he don't get no more awards after this.
Is the exact opposite of everything I have wanted my life to be about.
Now, him clearly expressing disdain for these ceremonies might come as a surprise to you, but comedians before and after him have felt the exact same hatred, like Don Rickles, who paved the way for comedians after him to unapologetically say what's on their mind.
I am so excited to get this Cockamamie Award.
While you may think it's disrespectful to just make fun of an award you're being honored for, it's hard to take it seriously when there are so many award shows that you can't even keep track of them. You have the Golden Globes, the Emmys, the Grammys, Directors Guild of America Awards, the BAFTA Awards, Screen Actors Guild Awards, Producers Guild of America Awards, Writers Guild of America Awards, the Oscars, MTV Video Music Awards, BET Awards, American Music Awards, and that's not even all of them. These people spend more time celebrating than they do creating.
I get this wonderful TV Land Award, and whoever designed it is a moron.
Now, I'm sure you all know the typical structure of these events. One person will be the host of the entire night, but different celebrities will take the stage to present each award. Usually, these celebs read their lines off teleprompters, and often they are reading bad jokes that someone else wrote with terrible delivery.
That is true.
We're here to present the VMA to the best group, and we love everything that has to do with groups. We have group therapy, group hugs, groupies.
Very exciting for both of us because we're both nominated.
Actually, James, I'm not nominated tonight.
Oh, come on, Ann, don't be so modest.
No, I'm not modest. I'm just not nominated. It used to be, you get naked, you get nominated. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Which made Don's subtle jab about reading from the teleprompter that much funnier.
Let's read these funny lines they wrote for us.
Okay.
Don then goes on to sarcastically laugh at the jokes.
First, it's a thrill to be matched up at the Emmy Awards with Mr. Warmth himself, Don Rickles. The world hasn't seen a pairing like this since John McCain and Sarah Palin.
It's the deep layers of irony that make Don's delivery so good. These celebrities know
Lame
award
ass
shows are
lines.
pompous.
Yeah, the
They
writers
also
be
know
terrible.
Don isn't afraid to call them out on their bullshit. Yet even before he can get the jokes out, they already laugh and applaud the comic legend. But don't you dare try to interrupt one of his punchlines.
Oh, Julia Roberts, you live next to me at the beach. You know that. Thanks for all the visits. Anyway, I'm living about 2 blocks from you. The broad never shows up. Come by and say hello.
Closer than 2
You
blocks.
have no lines, Julia. Just nod. Anyway,
And even if the entire ceremony is dedicated to one person, like when Martin Scorsese received a tribute for the AFI Life Achievement Award, Don Rickles will humble them.
Marty, you are the most annoying director I ever had in my life. Little guy. He's the kind of guy in prison was the squealer all the time.
People
Pulling on your pants like going, let's do it again, Marty.
sleep on the art of a comic. Cause in today's world, it's just, comedians are being they can't do what they used to do. And they joke about everything. People are. Well, certain comedians can if they're likable, but like some comedians, they can't go too far with the joking shit like they used to, right? And the art of comedy, like making a whole room laugh that's hard. Like I don't think people think that's just easy. Like making 20,000-30,000 people laugh in a room, or that's hard. Even making up 5 people laugh, even doing like a little comedy store, like making like 15 people laugh. Like come on now.
When we see all
It's
the
hard,
films you
harder
did,
than people think.
none of them were great.
But if you feel bad for Martin, don't worry. Clint Eastwood got the same treatment the previous year.
Clint, I say it, nobody else has said it, and I say it from my heart. You're a lousy actor.
This is why you can never get too comfortable at these gatherings. Like when David Mann was presenting
Oh,
at
yeah,
the Neighborhood
David
Awards
Mann
and
and,
Lavelle Crawford
Lavelle,
caught
yeah.
a stray fat joke.
Anybody got some chicken, an extra piece of chicken? Lavelle, I know you got it. Hey, take your jacket off and cover that side of the audience, sir.
I think we can all agree that the best
they went
moments
back
come
and
from
forth.
the host directly sniping one of the members of the audience.
It's a big year for Jack. He also got in a hot tub with Kathy Bates. But hey, who hasn't?
One of the most savage roasts came from Amy Poehler at the 2013 Golden Globes. She introduced director Kathryn Bigelow, who was previously married to famous director James Cameron. Kathryn was nominated for Best Director for the film Zero Dark 30,
What?
which received a ton of criticism for glorifying CIA torture in the film.
Haven't really been
Glorifying?
following the controversy over Zero Dark 30, but when it comes to torture, I trust the lady who spent 3 years married to James Cameron.
Damn.
Amy has built herself a reputation for kind of being a roast master.
Yes, Matt Damon is here for Behind the Candelabra. Where are you, Matt? Matt, on any other night in any other room, you would be a big deal, but tonight, and don't take this the wrong way, you're basically a garbage person.
Damn.
Oh, and Tina Fey is damn good too.
Gravity is nominated for Best Film. It's the story of how George Clooney would rather float away into space and die than spend one more minute with a woman his own age.
Wow.
But sometimes
Look at
making
P.
jokes
Diddy.
about
Boy, that boy
celebrities
P.
doesn't
Diddy.
always go over well. Like the time Sarah Silverman made fun of Britney Spears' children at the 2007 VMAs.
But have you
children's joke is
seen
crazy.
Britney's kids? Oh my God. They are the most adorable mistakes you will ever see. They are so cute. They're as cute as the hairless vagina.
A children joke is crazy. You can't mess with people with children like that. Those are certain things that just off limits. Like just children making fun of people with kids is crazy. Make fun of Britney Spears all you want, you know what I'm saying? But nigga, make fun of her kids is crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
They came out of. I'm serious, they're this cute, you guys.
The audience didn't think this joke was very funny, but this was back in 2007 when the internet didn't have a full-force grip on everyone's lives, so nobody was tweeting their outrage against Sarah. That was not the case for Bill Burr, who made a bunch of jokes at the 2021 Grammys pre-show that caused uproar online. After a beautiful piano solo from Igor Levit, Bill was brought on stage and said this.
How are you? Was I the only one who wanted to kill himself during that piano solo?
Critics exploded online, scolding Bill for making such a distasteful joke during a night of honor and praise. Little did critics know, it was only going to get worse. Bill immediately followed up by making fun of the Grammys pre-show as he thought he was going to be hosting the actual Grammys, only for him to show up to an empty Hollywood set presenting awards to a handful of producers and a few thousand people watching on the internet.
I bought a suit for this. I thought I was going to be on TV. I'm such a moron. I am losing so much money right now.
For some reason, they had Bill, a white man from Boston with absolutely no musical talent or knowledge, present all of the Latin music awards and nominees.
All right. Hey, how many feminists are like going nuts? So why is this white male doing all this Latino stuff?
And he unsurprisingly butchered just about every name.
Of course.
I can't say this name. Natalie what? All right. And the winner,
that's crazy.
The Grammy goes to Natalia Lafourcade. And the Grammy goes to Gustavo
They set him up
Dudamel,
for this, dude.
Conducting the Los Angeles Philharmonic. I will be accepting the Grammy on behalf of Gustavo Dudamel. Congratulations. Crushed that one. And the Grammy goes to Frederick Valentine, Angel Blue, Dead Sea Graves.
Because of people's outrage, some comedians don't think it's worth it to host anymore. Like Kevin Hart, who decided to drop out of hosting the Academy Awards after he was attacked on Twitter for his unsavory humor. Kevin Hart was announced to be the host of the 2019 Oscars, and immediately Twitter erupted.
That's weird. He was hosted, he was set to host the award show, and then niggas just immediately looked up old tweets. It's the most weirdest shit. I'm gonna read some of these. Is it gay if you fight a guy with long hair and when you start losing, you grab a handful of Okay, that's not a bad tweet. How can you tell Pitbull gay? Damn, he was going through it in fucking September, wasn't it? Just thinking about gay shit. 2009, it was a gay year for Kevin Hart, wasn't it? And all the women asking me where the pic is. I'm not passing on the pic of a naked man. That would make me gay by association. That's not a bad These tweets are kind of mine. Was the last one? I just saw the biggest gay ever. This nigga look like Hulk Hogan with heels on. I can lie. I got scared. Well, tweets ain't bad.
Where detractors posted a series of old homophobic tweets. Nearly all of them were just really bad jokes that seem relatively menial. However, one stood out more than most.
Okay, I remember this one. Okay, I'll live that. Yo, if my son come home and try to play with, I want to break it over his head and say, and my boy, stop, that's gay. I don't know.
Kevin Hart tweeted, "Yo, if my son comes home and tries to play with my daughter's dollhouse, I'm going to break it over his head and say my voice,
midnight,
stop, that's gay." Critics also resurfaced an old joke from his iconic 2010 comedy special, Seriously Funny.
I'm gonna tell you guys one of my biggest fears. One of my biggest fears is my son growing up and being gay. Hey, stop! That's gay! It's quick.
Kevin had apologized for these previous words in 2012. In 2015, he also addressed using gay jokes in his film Get Hard.
Did you think this is mildly mean-spirited or at the very least a little bit dated?
I said to myself, this is funny.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, funny is funny, regardless of what area it's coming from.
Within 48 hours of the host announcement, Kevin claims he was given an ultimatum.
I was given an ultimatum. Kevin, apologize, or we're gonna have to find another host.
So he ultimately decided to step down. Kevin did not host the Oscars and said recently in 2024 that he would never consider it ever again. Those gigs aren't good gigs for comics.
That's weird.
It's no
Looking
shot
up
to the
old
Oscars,
shit
no
just
shot to the
'cause you
Globes
don't
or
want a nigga
anything
to
else.
host a
Those just
award
aren't
show?
comedy-friendly environments anymore. Many people like Kevin believe that comedy is under a microscope these days, but it isn't even just everyday people online that get offended. Sometimes it's the A-list stars who, even though they are in the entertainment industry themselves, get
we'll
offended.
get to the
like
Will
I've
Smith
noticed that
slap.
Tom Hanks always has a sour look on his face. Anyone in the audience not laughing is terrified of being next. One A-lister who did not like being the butt of the joke was Jada Pinkett Smith, and her husband's reaction stamped one of the craziest award show moments of all time. During the 2022 Oscars, Chris Rock was presenting the award for Best Documentary Feature. Naturally, he opened with some jokes.
You know who's got the hardest job tonight? Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please.
Everything was going great until he transitioned to a joke about Jada Pinkett. Now, Chris had a joke during the 2016 Oscars about
you
Jada
weren't
that the
invited.
crowd
I seen that one.
loved.
Jada's gonna boycott the Oscars. Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited.
Ironically, this joke was way harsher than the one he was about to deliver.
Yeah,
Chris made a joke
that
about
was
Jada, who
definitely
has
worse than
spoken
the-
openly about having alopecia, a hair loss condition. Chris compared Jada to Lieutenant Jordan O'Neill, the star of G.I. Jane, notorious for her short, buzz-cut hairstyle. Based on Jada's expression, she did not like the joke. Will, on the other hand, was laughing. It's unclear if he was trying to mask his anger by laughing, or if he genuinely thought the joke
Look good
was
for
funny.
camera.
But then the camera cuts back to Chris, and we can see Will storming the stage until he ultimately smacks Chris in the face. He sits back in his
It
seat
looked like
and
he hit
yells
it.
at Chris, "Keep my wife's name out of your mouth." The
It still-
deafening silence
that
in
still
the
look
room
unreal to me,
permeated
bro.
when the audience realized this was not scripted, and Chris tried to make sense of what just happened. This encounter made comedians hate award shows even more because Will faced zero repercussions for his
Definitely
actions.
did.
He was not kicked out, he was not spoken to by the
That
show
nigga sat
organizers.
back down.
In fact, he won his first Oscar for Best Actor later on in the evening. He gave a 5-minute speech rambling and crying about how God is calling him to love people and to protect people. He received a standing ovation with Hollywood actors crying in support of him. The standing ovation made me realize how detached Hollywood is from reality. The slap incident is likely
I mean,
why we
people
got
could
the
still be in shock
extremely
because that
safe
was
and
just
not
so
edgy Jimmy
unreal at the
Kimmel
moment.
to host the awards for the next 2 years, and they were about as funny as you could imagine.
Christopher is joined by his longtime collaborator, Killian Murphy, who is just wonderful. Killian is...
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel is...
Interesting fact about his name, it's pronounced Killian when he does drama. When he does comedy, it's Cillian.
Actually, I take that
Boo.
back. The reason why we'll never get a good comedian to host an award show again is not because of Will Smith. It's because of Ricky Gervais, who unleashed an onslaught of savage roasts and jokes towards the guests, sponsors, and even the networks who host these events.
That's
Ricky
the one-
exposed
it's the dude in the
Hollywood
video that
so
was with,
badly at
Chris
the
Rock.
2020 Golden Globes that no
Jerry
organizer
Seinfeld.
will dare set themselves up
They
to
could just
get
kill the
decimated
N-word
like
and
that
shit.
again.
I think it is
Ricky
him.
Gervais is a British comedian who is known to push the boundaries with extremely edgy material. Politics, social issues, race, religion. There is absolutely
This dude
nothing
definitely not
Ricky
funny to me.
won't joke about. If people thought that Kevin Hart's material pushed the boundaries, Ricky makes Kevin look like a comedian for children. So how he was able to host the Golden Globes 5 times is pretty insane. The first time he hosted was in 2010, and yes, he was still a savage back then. As soon as he stepped on stage, he started attacking Steve Carell.
You probably know me as the creator of The Office. No, you don't, do you?
You think Steve Carell did it all? Oh, he's brilliant, isn't he, Steve Carell? He's amazing as the bumbling office
Why-
manager.
why Steve Carell looking at him
Where
like
does he
that?
get his ideas from? Let's pay.
If you don't know, Ricky Gervais created a British comedy show called The Office in 2001, 4 years before the American
Oh.
version. Ricky's show only lasted 1 season, but is filmed the exact same way. No music, long awkward pauses,
That's
deadpan
crazy.
humor, semi-realistic
I'll be
but
mad
also
about that shit,
extremely
fuck all that.
unrelatable chaos in the work environment. The premise of the show is the exact same, and only diehard fans of the American version would argue how it's different. Ricky, like the savage he is, goes on to promote his version of the show, as well as roasting the network hosting the event.
Or if you think that particular version of the show has jumped the shark a little bit, then watch the original. Fridays on Adult Swim. I'll get the box set. That's still available. So, go and get that. I will be making the most of this opportunity. I'm not used to these sort of viewing figures. Let's face it, nor is NBC. So...
He then goes on to belittle actors' value to the world. Notice how they almost clap for themselves.
It is an honour to be here in a room full of what I consider to be the most important people on the planet. Actors. They're just better than ordinary people, aren't they? We all know that.
We all know that. Oh, yeah.
Imagine a world without actors. Oh, God, it doesn't bear thinking about it. Imagine if they ever went on strike. Oh, what would we do? You couldn't replace them. You couldn't replace them with any other.
Hold on. Actors are important because we just got out of a writer's strike, and those movies been ass. Nigga, last year movie was so fucking ass. It was movies was just terrible.
Lawyers or doctors. Can you imagine a real surgeon doing what Hugh Laurie does in-house? It would be pathetic. He'd be all over the place. We're going, oh, where do I stand? How's my American accent? What's my lines? You know?
Hugh Laurie did not like that joke. Another celebrity not very fond of Ricky's jokes was Mel Gibson. Mel has struggled with alcoholism since he was 13 years old. He's also known in Hollywood to be pretty outwardly anti-Semitic. In 2006, he got arrested for a DUI and then proceeded to blame Jews for all the wars around the world before threatening the police officer. So Ricky had to take a jab.
I haven't offended anyone. I didn't mean, it's not my fault. There's a lot of powerful people here, so if I said it's... Honestly, I like a drink as much as the next man. Unless the next man is Mel Gibson.
Ricky's comments throughout the night felt distasteful to many around the world, but numbers don't lie, and he drove NBC's ratings through the roof. The 67th Annual Golden Globe Awards presents NBC with its biggest non-sports viewership in the slot in 6 years. The Golden Globe Awards gains 12% in adults 18 to 49 and 14% in total viewers versus last year's telecast. So he was invited back again the next year.
Also not nominated, I Love You, Philip Morris. Jim Carrey and Ewan McGregor, two heterosexual actors pretending to be gay. So the complete opposite of some famous Scientologists then. What? Probably. My lawyers helped me with the wording of that joke.
Ricky set the tone for the night that 2011 would be even crazier than 2010, immediately attacking the nominees, specifically The Tourist, which was a 2010 film led by Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie that was nominated for Best Motion Picture.
It was a big year for 3D movies. Toy Story, Despicable Me, Tron. Seems like everything this year was three-dimensional, except the characters in The Tourist. I feel bad about that joke. No, I'll tell you why. I'm jumping on the bandwagon because I haven't even seen The Tourist. Who has? But no.
The Tourist was notoriously a terrible movie, and many wondered why it was nominated in the first place.
Yeah, that's
well, if
weird.
you understand how Golden Globes are chosen, it might make a bit more sense.
Yeah, let's see that.
The Hollywood Foreign Press is a voting body of about 90 journalists that determine who gets nominated and wins the trophy. To get into the HFPA, you must write for a foreign publication but live in Los Angeles. It's no secret that members of the HFPA like to use their status to mingle with celebrities. It's like if I had a real vote on who wins a Grammy and I started hitting up rappers to have dinner with me. They might entertain it because theoretically I could help them win an award. So you will notice Ricky often says the Hollywood Foreign Press is corrupt.
It must be good because it's nominated, so shut up, okay? And I'd like to quash this
Nobody's seen that
ridiculous
movie. I ain't never heard that
going
movie
round
before.
that the only reason The Tourist was nominated was so the Hollywood Foreign Press could hang out with Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie. That is rubbish. That is not the only reason. They also accepted bribes.
Ricky also had to take more shots at Mel Gibson.
Speaking the truth on
First presenter is beautiful, talented, and Jewish, apparently. Mel Gibson told me that. He's obsessed.
And of course he had to dig into Steve Carell some more.
He was a jobbing actor, career not going that well if I'm being totally honest, who got his big break when I cast him in a remake of a show that I created called The Office. He's now leaving that show and killing a cash cow for both of us. Please welcome the wonderful Tina Fey and the ungrateful Steve Carell!
It's important to
He
know
pushed
that
them
Ricky
all.
doesn't actually have hard feelings for Steve. They are both in on the joke and love to play up the bit.
It's funny. He always makes fun of me, always. And he's also, you know, in a personal way, been very, very sweet to me. Like before one of these award shows, he pulled me aside and said, "Hey, I've got a few things that I wanted to go after you with. Is that okay?" And I'm like, "Of course." So there is a side, there is a gentler side to him that people don't necessarily see.
He's such a lovely man, though.
But he thinks you're sweet because, just to clarify, you go up to him before an award ceremony and say, "I'm going to call you a prick in a minute," just to warn you.
But if I told him what I was going to say, you know, if I had access to them, I'd warn everyone.
Some people just don't like the idea of a person being the butt of someone's joke, so they
Some people
definitely
don't.
wouldn't like this stray that Sandra Bullock caught at the end of the night.
The next presenter.
With jokes though, you feel like it's a time and a place though. Like it's a time. I guess at the award show, yeah, you should expect getting the joke called on you, but it depends. Sometimes, like I feel like most of these comedians are making fun of like the movies. Like you're doing like a Grammy, like they make fun of the music or the Oscar, they make fun of the movies. Like as long as you keep it in that space, don't. You know what I'm saying? If I was an actor, you start getting personal with me, like, okay, all right, bro, we had an award show, like, chill. Yeah,
It's
no
a
award
national
show.
treasure. Miss Congeniality herself. This down-to-earth girl next door first stole our hearts as a bus driver and then as a railway fare collector. Now, of course, she wouldn't be seen dead on public transport because as she just said to me backstage, poor people are gross and they smell bad. Please welcome Sandra Bullock.
Surely, after these attacks, he wouldn't be brought back to host the 2012 awards. After all, the Hollywood Foreign Press did not want him back, with one member stating, "My worry was that he was insulting, and when I invite someone to my house, they don't insult me. But this is show business. I guess I'm old-fashioned." But NBC was strongly in favor of Gervais returning because the ratings were just as good as they were last year, with 17 million live viewers for the entire show. So they decided to bring him back for a third year, and he was as unhinged as ever, opening with lines that proved he could care less about this special evening.
Tonight, you get Britain's biggest comedian hosting the world's second biggest award show on America's third biggest network.
Damn.
So, it's fourth. It's fourth. For any of you who don't know, the Golden Globes are just like the Oscars, but without all that esteem.
The first presenter he brought up was Johnny Depp, and he called back to his previous joke last year about his movie, The Tourist.
Have you... Ready?
I guess so.
Have you seen The Tourist yet?
Damn.
Have you?
No.
That's all move.
The lead actor of a movie that was nominated for a Golden Globe, admitting that he didn't even watch his own movie the following year, says just about everything you need to know about the value of these awards. Celebrities, like Elton John, have had enough of Ricky's nonsense. Even Ricky wrote on his blog after the event, "I've told my agent to never let me be persuaded to do it again, but then 2016 came around and Gervais was made an offer he couldn't refuse." He tweeted, "I'm making a list, I'm checking it twice, gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Hashtag Golden Globes."
Damn.
Ricky genuinely believed he would
He
never
said
be
he didn't
back,
wanna do it
so he
again.
made the 2016 Golden Globes his most diabolical performance ever.
Shush. Shut up. You disgusting, pill-popping, sexual deviant scum. I want to do this monologue and then go into hiding.
Ricky kept reassuring everyone in the crowd he would be nice this evening. He was lying.
I am going to be nice tonight, and I'll tell you why. The president of the Hollywood Foreign Press just told me that if I say anything offensive or crass or resort to innuendo, he is going to come out here and personally pull me off. So that's an offer I couldn't refuse. Yes, that is the level. An old man pulling me off.
And then again insinuated that this award show is corrupt.
One Hollywood publication
It definitely
said
is
that me
corrupt.
hosting
You tell the
would
truth,
mean
though, with
that some
these-
film stars
with
will
these
stay
jokes.
away for fear of being made fun of. As if film stars will stay away from the chance of winning a Golden Globe, particularly if their film company has already paid for it.
Damn.
Everyone is clapping and laughing because
I mean,
they know
music-
it's
the
true.
music career do
Ricky
it too.
continued to just minimize
The
and
music
bash the
industry
award
does it
show
too, for
every
the
which
Grammys.
way he could.
All female remakes are the big thing. There's a female remake of Ghostbusters. There's going to be a female remake of Ocean's 11, and this is brilliant for the studios because they get guaranteed box office results and they don't have to spend too much money on the cast. So,
damn, that's tough.
Shut up, I don't care. If you do win tonight, remember that no one cares about that award as much as you do, okay? Don't get emotional, it's embarrassing, okay? That award is, no offense, worthless. It's a bit of metal
speaking
that
facts.
some nice old confused journalists wanted to give you in person so they could meet you and have a selfie with you.
Honestly, there's nothing more I can say to add to this.
Eva Longoria and America Ferrera aren't just beautiful, talented actresses. They're also two people who your future president, Donald Trump, can't wait to deport.
But I'm sure you can tell the energy of this show feels different than previous years. The first 3 shows he hosted, he was more playful, often chuckling to himself devilishly.
He was trying to not come
He
back.
seems more fed up and actually just trying to be blunt.
Oh, this show is way too long, isn't it? It's way too... This could be half an hour. Okay, let's get through it. Right.
He trying not to come back.
Unbelievable. Some people still think this award means something. The winners, just listen to me. Listen, it doesn't just... Right. When Brad and Angelina see our next 2 adorable little presenters, they're going to want to adopt them. Please welcome Kevin Hart and Ken Jeong.
And for some reason, the producers decided it would be a good idea for Ricky to introduce Mel Gibson, who he had previously attacked multiple times, and this time would be no different.
Listen, I'm sure it's embarrassing for both of us, okay? And I blame NBC for this terrible situation. Mel blames... We know who Mel blames. Mel's forgotten all about it, apparently. That's what drinking does. No.
Damn.
I want to say something nice about Mel before he comes out. Oh yeah, okay, here you go. I'd rather have a drink with him in his hotel room tonight than with Bill Cosby.
That's something nice.
Please, Malcolm. Mel Gibson.
That's something nice right there.
The night concludes, celebrities are angry, the Hollywood foreign press is angry, Mel Gibson is angry, Ricky Gervais is never coming back.
Nope.
Until 2020, where they asked him to host for the 5th time. People were shocked. Ricky was shocked, and if we thought his 2016 show was correct
you
and
gotta
less
accept
playful,
it, though.
2020 felt like he did not tell one joke, but rather just statements of how much he hates Hollywood.
You'll be pleased to know this is the last time I'm hosting these awards, so I don't care anymore. I'm joking. I never did. NBC clearly don't care either.
It's a good check, though.
So, I mean, Kevin Hart was fired from the Oscars because of some offensive tweets. Hello? Lucky for me, the Hollywood foreign press can barely speak English.
That is true.
He immediately set the stage that he would go out with a bang, and timbers were shivered.
People from every
That is
background,
crazy.
but they all have one thing in common. They're all terrified of Ronan Farrow. He's coming for you. He's coming for you. Look, talking of all you perverts, it was a big year. It was a big year for paedophile movies. Surviving R. Kelly, Leaving Neverland, 2 Popes. Shut up. Shut up. I don't care. I don't care.
Ronan Farrow
He
is the
did not
son
like-
of Woody Allen, who became a journalist and led the charge in exposing Harvey Weinstein for his decades of sex crimes inside the film industry.
Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up. I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
Damn.
You had to make your own way here in your own plane, didn't you? Right.
Tom Hanks didn't like that one.
Many talented people of colour were snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood foreign press are all very, very racist. So
It baffles me how most of Ricky's harshest roasts since 2010 were towards the organizers of the event, and they still hired him 5 times. But the ending of his monologue was not a joke.
So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform
It's
to
the
make
ratings,
a political
boy.
speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and f*** off, okay?
His wit and his charm we saw in previous years was no longer present. He had used it all up.
Our next
I mean,
presenter
2020 do that to
starred
you.
in Netflix's Bird Box, a movie where people survive by acting like they don't see a thing. Sort of like working for Harvey Weinstein. You did it. I didn't. You did it. Shut the f*** up.
Fans absolutely loved Ricky's direct attacks on the privileged class. These harsh jokes are likely the most adversity they had to face all year. Classically, journalists hated his performance. Rolling Stone said, the host's shtick at the 2020 Golden Globes felt incredibly stale. Salon said, why the Golden Globes and host Ricky Gervais felt particularly pointless. Variety said, but most of the time, his stand-up seemed lazy. Which is true. It was kinda lazy, because it didn't seem like he was joking. But hey, if these celebrities are gonna congratulate themselves over a dozen times per year with superficial awards and trophies, then they need a comedian to humble them. But I think we can all agree that the real winners of these events are the fans, who get to laugh and reminisce on the comedic chaos that ensued at the expense of multi-millionaires.
Alright, that was a different type of video from Patrick C. It was more just clips and stuff, so him talking, so it was hard to react to that, so anyway, shout out to Patrick C for this video, shout out to the comedians and awards and celebrities, but yeah, like I said, like, come on now, like, I don't know why a celebrity would take super offensive to that, as long as they don't get personal with me, but I get it, whatever. I get it. I know people want to be professional and think they want to keep Hollywood sacred and make it feel like it's, it's just all roses and grass and plains, which is not. But whatever. Hollywood is dirty, very, very dirty. Being this, So anyway. If you like my reaction, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the last Patrick CC video right here. Check out another video right here. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.